welcome to the Northern Counties East League podcast. I'm Richard Watts. I'm now joined by League General Manager Matt Jones.
Hello and welcome to the official podcast of the Northern Counties East Football League. There's just 3 playoff games to look back at from last weekend, and we'll start with the Premier Division, where the final took place between Hallam and Beverley Town. The league will feel a little strange next season, as it will be the first year ever without Hallam, who have been promoted to Step 4 of the FA's National League system, following a breathtaking Premier Division playoff final on Saturday. We send congratulations to Hallam. The countrymen, who have been with the league since its inception in 1982, turned around a 2-goal deficit at half-time to make the move up into the Northern Premier League after a penalty shootout with Beverley Town decided matters at Sandygate. Macaulay Snellgrove struck in the 9th minute and then again in first half injury time to give the visitors a healthy 2-0 lead at the break, and their large away following must have been hopeful they could move up the pyramid to cap off their fantastic first season in the Premier Division. But in front of a massive sold-out crowd of 1,563, the home side refused to lie down, and they'd drawn themselves back level within 11 minutes of the restart through Leon Howarth and then the league's top scorer Rio Allen, who netted his 38th goal of the season to make the match level. Ending 2-2, the game went to penalties, and in the nail-biting finale, it was Hallam who went through 4-3, with keeper Hugo Warhurst saving Elliot Andrews' decisive spot kick to send the home side into huge celebrations. The league send our congratulations to Hallam for their promotion, and we're sure that they and league champions Silsden will both do very well at the new level next season. We'll follow their progress with interest. The 2 semi-finals also took place in Division 1 playoffs, and it'll be a very local derby next weekend in the final, to see which side will join Horbury Town in making the move up into the Premier Division. A dramatic injury time winner from Jamie Austin saw Durham District snatch a 1-0 win at Wakefield, just when it looked as though that game was also going to penalties. Durham will make the 5-mile trip to Wombwell Town on Saturday for the final, after their neighbours came from behind to win 2-1 at home to Ilkley Town. Eliel Mavil Anku had given the visitors a 14th minute lead before Eddie Agnew's leveller midway through the second period gave the hosts hope. Jordan Kershaw then struck with a quarter of an hour remaining to claim the win for Wombwell, and all eyes will be on the recreation ground on Saturday for what should be another fascinating encounter. 2 really strong sides, and it's difficult to pick a winner. Meanwhile, special mention must also be made of the attendances at both these semi-finals, with over 900 at Wakefield and 600 at Wombwell, meaning that the 3 games on Saturday attracted more than 3,000 spectators. Fantastic figures for Step 5 and 6 football. Another special mention must go to the volunteers at all the clubs involved in the playoffs, who are coping with much bigger crowds than usual. All 3 weekend games ran very smoothly and wouldn't be possible without these amazing people. On behalf of the league, thank you to everybody involved.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Tonight we have Si and Richard and myself. So good evening, guys.
Evening.
Hi, Bob.
And also, as I always say, good evening to our listener, who we do it all for. Right. We'll dive straight in. It was the big match on Saturday at Hallam. It was the playoff final in the Premier League. Hallam versus Beverley. The final score was 2-2. Beverley took a 2-0 lead through Macaulay Snellgrove, I think it is. 2-0 at half-time. And then Hallam came roaring back in the 50th minute through Leon Howarth and Rio Allen in the 56th minute. And what was a bit curious about this game, they always talk about the notorious Hallam slope, but I think all the goals were scored actually going up the slope on Saturday. So that was a point. Did you notice that, guys?
Yes, all towards the shed end, wasn't it? Where as I was looking at it, it seemed to be a mixture of both fans at that end as well. All the flags were up. Looked to be a well-supported match.
It was.
Yeah, when you're 2-0 up at Hallam and you're kicking down with a slope in the second half, you'd be feeling fairly confident, wouldn't you? You would have thought.
Yeah, that's the thought I had at half time, Richard. I thought, because I looked at things. Beverly, someone said they were going up, kicking up the slope. Was Beverly? I thought, well, they've got the slope in the second half. It's they're going to do it. But all credit to Hallam. So then it went to penalties, didn't it, guys?
It did.
And it worked out in Hallam's favour, 4-3 on penalties. Have you seen the video of any of you guys of the match?
Yeah, I just watched it before we came on. I had a good look through that one. Some good goals in that as well. I thought, particularly Snellgrove's first one, which was sort of like across the goalkeeper and at the far post. Kind of missed the first one back for Hallam, because I think the cameraman was a little bit slow to catch up what happened with that one, the one that Howard scored. But yeah, it was a good match, and of course the thing in there as well, the ball did go in the net as well to make it 3-2 Hallam at one point, didn't it? But it was ruled offside. So yeah, penalties it was, and some good penalties in there. A couple of ones towards the end weren't so good, but some good ones early on to make it 3-3, wasn't it, to start with?
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't say it, but one absolutely awful one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But you've got to feel sorry for it. Penalties are not easy, but when you do miss it and the other team wins, you've got to feel a bit sorry for the guy it takes, because he just want the world to swallow him, wouldn't he? You know.
Yeah, it's a thankless task taking the penalty.
I think if he took it 10 times again or 100 times again, I don't think any of those he'd try and Panenka it.
No.
But to try a Panenka in a shootout, if it works, you're the absolute hero, and everyone thinks you're the dogs.
Yeah,
I think at the stage as well when Hallam had just missed.
Yeah,
because if they got that, they're in front, aren't they?
Because that was Blakely's shot, wasn't it? Yeah, that one was saved. And I think from the I listened to the commentary, because we couldn't tell from looking at the shirt, but I think it was the number 9, Glenn Sarney, that did the one that missed.
Yeah.
Hallam then buried the next shot. I thought that their 5th penalty was really good, because it was just outside the keeper's reach. Really, that's how you want a penalty to be. And then the last one that was saved, Beverly's shot that was saved by Warhurst. It was that right sort of height for a save, wasn't it? It wasn't low, it wasn't high at the top corner. It was just kind of to the side of the keeper. And yeah, it's like you say, it's a lottery though, isn't it? And it's pressure at those sort of things.
Yeah.
But what I did see a small point. I mean, when they won, Hallam obviously was all celebrating, the fans come running on. But somebody put, I saw it somewhere, but Danny South, who plays for Hallam, he went round to commiserate with all the Beverly players and staff before he started celebrating, which I thought was very good. Yeah, so I thought that's I mean, that's really good. That's nice to see the sportsmanship in that, because obviously he felt that he felt for the Beverly team and player, because it's been a long, hard season, and to come up short like that, it must be. Oh, it's crushing for them, isn't it? Yeah. But did you see the crowd? The crowd was
incredible, isn't it?
1,563.
I thought there was 1,400 tickets.
Well, they squeezed 163 in.
Because they said it was an old ticket. It was about 1,400. So yeah, I think a few people must have climbed over the fence for that one.
But I think Beverly took 3 bus loads, so that was well supported. But it would have been a busy day for the volunteers on that day.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Can you imagine?
I haven't seen Hallam's ground before, but it's only got 3 sides, hasn't it? Looking at because I thought with the crowds that they've got, when I was looking at the figures, thinking it must be a pretty big ground as well to hook. So I keep looking at their figures that they get every week when we're doing these podcasts, and they've got fantastic attendance, but it's only got 3 sides, so that must be really well packed as well. So that's even more astounding at what good crowds they get.
Yeah, their main stand, every time I've been to Hallam, their main stand is always full, the seat to stand. There's never a spare seat. So so it's fantastic. I mean, because the cricket ground, I mean, they say the slope at Hallam, the football ground, But the cricket ground, when you look across, it's even a bigger slope. So if you're fast bowling in there, you really want to be bowling down the slope. That'd be good. It's even worse than the football one. But well done, Hallam. I mean, they've been in the North Counties East League since 1982. So after 33 years, 33 years, or 43 years, wasn't it? Yeah, 43 years. Yeah, they're moving on to the step 4. So all the best for them. We'll be watching, see how they're doing next season, and I'm sure they'll make a good go of it.
I think they will, especially when you've got crowds like that behind you. I think they're made for the next level, aren't they, with attendances like that?
Yeah, and where they're placed, geography as well. If there's teams in Lancashire, and the travelling is not so bad for them really. It's just the northeast when we've got the up towards Dunstan and places like that, and Ashington, But
I'm just going to put a quick plug in for the final podcast of the season, because Craig Denton, the manager, will be on the final podcast of the season.
Oh, very good. We'll look forward to that then, Richard. Look forward to that. See his thoughts. Right then, we'll go on to the playoffs. We'll do Wombwell first. The Division 1 playoffs on Saturday. It was Wombwell 2, Ilkley 1. Ilkley took the lead through Eli Melvin 43 minutes. So there's 1-0 up at half time. And then Wombwell came back through Edward Agnew in the 67th and Jordan Kershaw in the 75th minute to win 2-1. Seems like a close game, that one, guy.
Yeah, and I don't know what the match was actually like, but I remember obviously from playing both, they were both really competitive sides. Ilkley, we said quite a lot of Wakefield fans said that's one of the best sides we've seen play at our place. So that must have been a tough battle for Wombwell. And they came out on top, turned it around in the second half. A good comeback for them.
Yep, I see a good crowd, 603. That probably was their highest gate of the season, I would imagine. So that's a really good crowd. And then, Si, we'll go on to the Wakefield Durnan district game. Now, I can give a bit of an insight on this myself, because I was actually there. And after seeing you 2 years on Zoom, I actually met you in the flesh. You do
it was nice to actually meet up, wasn't it? It was good. It's good. Was that a nice little moment for us? It was one of the highlights of my rather dour day. It all started off so well, and then it finished so badly for me as well. Especially since just for a personal plug, especially since it was my birthday as well, which I thought at least might get a decent present of a win, but no, it didn't happen, did it?
Football,
as everybody knows already, so I don't think there's probably a listener out there that isn't aware of the score, but we can certainly cover the low lights for us and the highs for Dern.
Yeah, all I can say, football can be a cruel game, which it was on Saturday, because from a neutral perspective, I mean, it could have gone either way. I thought there wasn't too many chances. There was chances, but when both keepers were alive to it. But then Durnan District scored that killer blow in the 90th minute from a corner, and it was 1-0, and that's it. Really sunk the hearts of the Wakefield supporters, didn't it, Si? I would imagine.
It did. I mean, I think the first half was one of those sort of scrappy, tense, both sides cancelling each other out. I thought there wasn't any real chances for either team with that one. And I thought, personally, in the second half, we were starting to get on top. But hey, I'm always partisan to my own team. So I'm probably going to say that. We'd lost Brad McGowan to leg injury. He's got a broken leg. Which shows he actually tried to come back on. So he's got a fracture in his lower leg and still tried to come back on the field, but it wasn't to be. So he's going to be out for a while now, off work as well. So get well soon, Brad.
Yeah.
And we lost a midfielder with a concussion as well.
Yeah, I think they set up a GoFundMe page as well to help him, haven't they, as well?
They have indeed. You can find, if anyone wants to contribute to that, they can find details on the club's social medias. Yeah, wishing him a speedy recovery. Hopefully, we'll have him back the next season. And that kind of made us change our setup because obviously it's two key players that we'd lost through injury there. And we were just getting on top of the game in the second half, I think, and getting some chances when we had Jadon Sandu sent off for what I thought was not. I looked at the challenge; it was quite away from me, so I haven't got a perfect view of it, but it looked a bit of a nothing challenge in their box. And the referee's gone straight for a red card. Thought maybe from the way they reacted, I thought, oh, maybe this is going to be a yellow, and the next thing there's got a red card. And yeah, that once we went down to 10 men, I think we struggled a bit. Then I think they started to get on us a bit more. We were having a counter attack quite a lot, and it looked like it was going to penalties. I'm not sure if I'd have preferred that or not because penalties is such a lottery. I suppose we at least would have had a chance if it went to penalties. But to a degree, I feel personally I'd rather lose in normal time than lose on penalties. That's I don't know if that's because of the stress of penalties. I'm not a Beverley fan. Maybe Beverley would sort of disagree with me that, and they'd rather have lost in normal time. I don't know. I've not gone out on penalties, but I think the stress of that, I don't think I could have taken. But yeah, 90th minute corner. It's been our Achilles heel for a while in our history as corners. Something that we've really sorted out lately, but yeah, not this time. And that was it. Done through with the win.
Yeah, I thought Jadon, because he used to play at goal one time. I thought he was one of your best players on Saturday in midfield. And,
he was everywhere, wasn't he?
Yeah, so it was a big loss to Wakefield when he got sent off. Again, I didn't see the tackle because it was at the far end, so you couldn't really see if it was a bad tackle or not. But once the referee produces his red card, you can't do anything, can you? And that's it. But I see the crowd. Must have been the best crowd of the season. 923.
Just short of 1,000, wasn't it? Yeah. And it was good to see as well because they all kind of spread out as well. So there was fans on all four sort of sides of the pitch, and quite a big Dern support behind the goal to sort of the left of the main stand as you go in, making plenty of noise for their team as well, and a good atmosphere in the game as well, I thought. Yeah,
when you got players a Featherstone ground, I mean, like that's superb ground really at all level. When you get them all spectators on all four sides of the ground, it creates a great atmosphere. You know, definitely. Yeah, it was good to see, but disappointing for the Wakefield supporters. So we'll be playing goal next year. We'll be meeting up again.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so there's a silver cloud. A silver lining to the cloud. Sorry, not a silver cloud. A silver lining to the cloud.
Top of the table clash next season. That one.
Yeah, well, that's it. I think one of the discussions I've seen on the league forum this week has been like who's going to be the ones challenging, and I think Gould are going to be up there, aren't they? I'd hope we are as well. And obviously, Gould, it's going to be an interesting one because Gould have got a few ex-Wakefield players there if they manage to retain those as well. So that'd be quite something.
We've signed quite a few players from last season, because we had a good run, and so we're keeping them. A lot of them have committed to us, and verbally agreed to stay with us is Jimmy Isles as well. So which is ex-Wakefield and Jack Durkin. Jimmy scored in the last 14 games. He scored 12 goals for us, and when Jack Durkin started for us, we've never lost a match. So them two re-signing for us is a big boost for the club. But there's some good signs. So we've got a bit of optimism going on to next year, but I have optimism every season. So when you're a Gould fan, you've got time. But we'll see. Making a good foundation. Anyhow, just going back to the three games, the total attendances, because I like my stats, as you know, it was over the three games, the attendance was 3,089 over the three games.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Wow. That's good.
Mm.
Yeah, very good indeed. Very good indeed. Right then, moving on. There was the West Riding County Cup final on Tuesday. Golcar versus Route 1 Rovers. And that went to 2-2. Golcar 2, Route 1 Rovers 2. I think Route 1 took the lead. Then and there was 1-0 at half time to Route 1. Then Golcar came back, scored 2 goals through Alfie Wilkinson, 58 minutes, George Doyle, 66. And then Route 1 at the death through Zach Khan, scored in the 90th minute. So it looked like another 90th minute goal, and that went to penalties as well. And Route 1 won it 4-3 on penalties. Did you see that? Did you see any of that, guys? Or
I haven't. I didn't get a chance to look see if there's any highlights anywhere of that one.
I haven't seen it.
But yeah, it's interesting how that completely mirrors the in terms of scoreline and penalties, the Alan Beverley game, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was on my notes. I was just going to say that. Yeah, you're right there. It is. I was thinking that when I was writing it, I thought it's a bit of a ghost story, same story as Alan Beverley, and except there wasn't the 90th minute, but it went to penalties, and Route 1 won 4-3 on penalties as well. So same penalties score as the Beverley Hallam game.
Are they North West Counties, Route 1?
I believe they are. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But they're sort of, or where they sit in the geography, they could easily be in the North East Counties next year. Depends,
It does keep getting rumoured, that one, doesn't it? I've heard that a couple of times. People saying about Route 1, whether they'd make the move over or not, because they're on the border.
Yeah. And I see the crowd on that night. It was well because it's at the West Riding FA headquarters. 700. Then on 700. Yeah, good crowd for the West Riding. But I reckon there was both teams well supported, especially Golcar. But even though Golcar lost, they've had a good season. They got to the playoff, got to the West Riding Cup final. They've had a good playoff as Golcar, had a good season, and that'll fire up probably for next season now, I'd imagine. But we'll see. Right, moving on then to the Division 1 playoff final on Saturday. It's One World Town at home to Durnan District. And I've just been looking at the record. Durnan District, now they've won the last 7 matches, and One have won the last 5. But before I came on here, I had a look on the form guide when they played each other in the league. And One won 3-0 at home, and they won 2-1 away as well. So they've beaten Durnan District twice this year. So I would imagine Durnan District will want to get their own back. But I think it'll be a close game, guys. Whichever it goes, I think. Again, this one could go to penalties. You never know. What do you think?
2 very good sides there, definitely, from what I've seen this season. It's difficult to call. I give One maybe the edge, given the fact they've finished higher. But Durn, like you say, have got that consecutive set of wins. I'm backing One just because we've got a couple of ex-Wakefield midfielders in there. Danny Ewell and Jock Curran both used to play for us, and they're good lads. So I'd like One to do it, but it could go either way, that one.
Yeah.
I was impressed with Durn when Barton played them in the League Cup, but they've definitely got better since then. And they've got Liam King, who was captain North Ferriby to win the FA Trophy. Real experienced, useful player to have.
Right.
It's going to be tight. I just have a fancy that Durn might just do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to agree with you, Richard. I think they might just do it. I mean, there was very defended well on the last Saturday against Wakefield. I mean, the 7. I know One was won 5 in the trot, and Durnan District won 7 in the trot. But I think they could just do it. Plus the fact ex-goal skipper Josh Dacre is in their defence as well. So, and his granddad comes to watch him as well. So I'm going to plump for Durnan District. So it'll be a close game. I think I'll be going there on Saturday to see it. So I'll be able to give you on the next podcast my review on that match. So I'll be looking forward to it. Now, a bit of news in the week. I
realised they were so close together. There's only about 5 miles between them, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right. It's only 5 miles, so it's it'll be easily be the best crowd of the season. I mean, what did they get last week? 603. Well, I'm thinking they could be up to 900 next week, because both clubs are publicising it well, and be a busy day for the One volunteers that day. On the turnstiles and in the bars and in the selling the food, they'll be rushed off the feet that on Saturday. And the forecast is good weather-wise, so I think it'd be a good turnout. So we're looking forward to it. Right, they're just going to have a bit of news, NCEL news. I see the club Thorn manager JonesNCEL has stepped down after being in charge for 5 years, but he's going to stay on as a director. Did you see that, guys? He's stepped
No, I
down.
haven't seen that. Mhm.
And
They've had a pretty good season, haven't they, for the first time?
yeah, they have. They finished
Mid-table 11s, yeah.
Yeah, they finished mid-table 11, so they've had a good season. Something to build on. So so watch that space. See who comes in there. And I see James Baxendale and his staff have left Armthorpe this week. So that's another vacancy there, isn't there? And I see Wakefield have made a decision to keep their management team for next year. Stephen Bordeaux, Lee Needham, and Ian Treaty. That's
Yeah.
right.
I think it's a good. It's nice that they've done that early. I think that was a good statement to do, rather than sort of leaving any doubt over the season. Over the close season. Sorry, over the summer.
Yeah.
I think it's the right move. I think we've made a real step in the right direction since they've come in, and I think it's the right team to take us forward for next season.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. And if you make a decision early, everybody knows where they stand, don't they? Really.
Exactly, and especially I think that especially with the dressing room as well. Once the players know, because they'll have an idea of which players probably they want to keep on for next season, and still likewise the players will know if they want to stay or if they want to move on somewhere else.
Yeah.
Speaking of the dressing room, I haven't noticed. I'd looked recently, but you must have one of the most experienced goalkeepers in the league at Wakefield.
I think he's just come in back end of the season to help us out, because he's a friend of Steve Bodle, the manager.
Right.
They were both in the same village at the same time, so I think one will work there. So they're mates and sort of talk a lot of football. And then when we got an injury to our number one keeper, and we haven't really got a backup, he sort of did it as a favour for Steve.
Right.
We've been doing that, but yeah. Scott Loach obviously had played previously at Watford, Derby, I think, amongst a number of other clubs, England under 21s, and hung up his gloves last year. He's now mainly a goalkeeper coach, from what I know, but put them back on for us just to help us out at the end of the season. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for us on the last day, but up until that 90th minute, he'd got a clean sheet.
Very good.
I got to talk to him after one of the games as well. He's a really down to earth fella as well. Really nice.
Do you think he'll be staying with you next season, or not? Or
I'm not sure, or if he does in what capacity. I don't get the inside info into who's staying and who's going. I think our number one goalkeeper, Owen Evans, would have probably been back in the net, perhaps, if he'd have recovered from his dislocated finger in time. But whether he would come in and help with the coaching side, I don't know. Whether I think he's probably more likely to be a pro club, like a Premier League club type of thing for coaching. I would have thought by now.
Yeah.
I know he was. I'm sure he was working with Derby at one point.
Right. Well, just moving on now. I've been looking. I spoke last week about who might be coming up down into our league, relegated, coming from the feeder league. And I see it's been decided in the Northern Premier League East, because they played on Bank Holiday Monday, and the bottom four coming down is Brighouse Town, Liversedge, Sherwood Colliery, and Sheffield. So it'll be interesting to see what league they go into. I would imagine Sherwood Colliery, would they United Counties? Sheffield would probably be the
Sherwood South, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sheffield as well. I think they're more likely to go into the Midlands area type leagues, aren't they?
yeah, could be. And Brickhouse and Liversedge. So yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there, where they're putting the leagues.
Nice setup at Liversedge. I've been there for a couple of pre-season friendlies. I like their setup.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever been, guys, but it's a nice place to go. Is that?
Yeah, they were in the NCEL for quite a few years, weren't they? Before they went, was it about 3 years ago they went up?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And but at once Bridlington and Ossett, they've done well to stay up because they was in the relegation zones at one time, but because the Bottisford manager, he left Bottisford to go to Bridlington, didn't he? I can't think of his name.
Right. Andy Tom, is it Thompson? I think it's Thompson, I think. Is it Andy Thompson?
Yeah, he left mid-season, didn't he? Or just at the turn of the year, and to go to Brid. Well, his mission accomplished. He's kept him up. And that's what he went there for. So well done to him. Yeah. Then looking at the feeder leagues, who might come into our leagues? I've looked at the Abacus Central Midland League, and I think I said last week, Doncaster City have won that league. So they will get promoted because they play at Armthorpe. So that'll be interesting. Derby, when Doncaster play Armthorpe, I mean, the tenant playing the landlord, aren't they?
Exactly. Yeah, but I think they're going to do quite well as well. They're a well-backed team who've got big ambitions of going up the leagues, a bit like Wakefield, and sort of like wanting to grow to that sort of size. And so I think there'll be a good test next season.
Yeah, it's good for Division 1, really, isn't it? I mean, it's going to be there'll be some good matches there with Doncaster City, I think, and I think they're well supported as well, which is another good thing. And then in the Division Central Middle Leagues South, it's looked like South Normanton. I think when I last looked, they're 11 points in front, not been confirmed yet. But Melbourne Dynamos are chasing them, and they've got 3 games in hand, but they've got 11-point gap. So it's South Normanton might come up, but we'll have to see on that. I don't know. South Normanton I'm not. My geography is not great. South Normanton, is it? Do we know where that guy is? Where that is?
Castleford sort of way, isn't it? I think.
Is it right?
I think it is.
Oh,
I was getting confused because I know there's a Normanton near Wakefield, but it's not that Normanton, is it? No.
Right. And then going into the Lincolnshire League.
Derbyshire, sorry. South Normanton. So I was just quickly looking up for you. It's in Derbyshire.
Oh, thank you, Si. Well, they could maybe go into the... Depends all what comes up and down. They could maybe go in the United Counties, but we'll see, And then in the Lincolnshire League, Cruel Colts had a big game on Saturday because there was away. And if they won their match away, they would have been promoted. They're playing Ruston Sports. But it finished as a draw. So Nettleham, I think they're in Nottinghamshire, Nettleham. They've won the league by a point. So if they pass the ground grading, I presume Nettleham will get promoted either into North Counties or maybe the United Counties, because I think they're in Nottinghamshire, I think.
It said it's near Lincoln.
Oh, is it?
English football club based in Nettleham, near Lincoln in Lincolnshire.
Oh, well, my geography is not great, as you can see.
Yeah, no, there's mine.
or Wikipedia's really wrong. I don't know. I'm just trying to do some. I don't know these things. I'm just looking it up for you while you're going through them for us.
I'm also going to correct the Bridlington manager, who's Mike Thompson, assisted by Andy Norfolk.
All right. Well, there you go. Then stand by. You might need to check this one inside, because in the West Yorkshire League Premier Division, we've got, is it Burton St Anthony? They're top by 3 points, followed by Littletown, three points behind them. So it's just them two, really. The rest are quite a way back. Little Town, but they've got 3 games in hand. That's yet to be decided. So there's some games still to be played there. So West Yorkshire League.
Oh, Beeston St Anthony.
Yeah.
Is it Beeston St Anthony's?
Beeston. Yeah. When he said I was thinking Beeston. Yeah. No, it's an area of Leeds, is that?
Yeah. Oh, it's an area of Leeds, right? Well, in my non-league paper, it says Burn apostrophe. So I had a bit of a guess at that.
It's Beeston St Anthony's.
Yeah.
I know Beeston's in Leeds, so I'm assuming that is as well.
All right, then this will test you.
West Yorkshire.
Yeah, this is going to test you. It's like quiz night on podcast now. The Yorkshire Amateur League Supreme Division, we've got at the top, and I think that's won it, is Ballardians, Ballandians, Ballardians, and Leeds University comes second. So I don't know where they are. So that's
Never heard of them.
no. But the thing is, at the end of the day, whoever wins these leagues, they've got to pass the ground grade, don't they? I suppose they might not even know at this stage if they're passed or not. I don't know when they get to know the decisions. I don't know. But I'm just pleased that I don't have to decide it all, because that would be it must be a nightmare. You need a good night's sleep before you look at all these ups and downs. And then just moving on quickly, then I see it's been announced today that the league next season is to be known as well, it's a bit of a mouthful actually when I read it, when I wrote it out. The Macron Sports Hub Wakefield Northern Counties East Football League. They're going to be the official ball sponsor and league sponsor for the next 5 seasons. But for the last 3 seasons, they have been the benchwear sponsor. But now they're coming on board to be the ball sponsor and league sponsor. So it's Macron Sports Hub Wakefield Northern Counties East Football League. So that's because we have not had a sponsor. The league's not had a sponsor this year, have they, since Toolstation dropped out.
A good deal over 5 years. To get 5 years is a good deal this day and age.
Matt Jones will be happy, won't he, to have got a sponsor for the league?
Yeah.
Got that one off the line, yeah. I saw someone comment online that they're not happy that he's got the name of a club in the title because it's got Wakefield in there. It's like you're in Yorkshire. At some point, you're going to get some city or town in there, aren't you, as a sponsor? But there you go.
But at the end of the day, the sponsor's paying good money. You can put whatever you want, because the recipient will be very happy for that, wouldn't it? Really, it's so yeah, that's good for the league. And I see, just moving on quickly because we're probably coming towards the end now. I see the abandoned match, Shelley and Nostell, will not be replayed. It's going to be 1 point being awarded to each team, so that finishes the league off for this season, which I think is a sensible decision, really. No, it's
That's it for this edition. If you've got any news for the podcast or you'd like to appear on the podcast, please email ncelpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.